This issue is very important for countries like Honduras because the United States has a long history of meddling in Latin America. In the case of Central America, the U.S. has repeatedly militarily invaded the region, not only Honduras, also neighboring countries like Nicaragua. And in the 1980s, there were wars going on in these countries that the U.S. fueled through the CIA arming and training rebel groups. So this is a region that has been destabilized by U.S. meddling. And today, we now see that the U.S. government has brought back, many U.S. officials have brought back this colonial rhetoric of the so-called Monroe Doctrine. This is a 201-year-old doctrine that essentially states that the U.S. treats Latin America as its proverbial backyard or sphere of influence. Obviously, this is very frustrating and upsetting to many countries in the region that are sovereign governments, and yes, they can have relations with the United States, but they want them to be fair and equitable. And in particular, U.S. politicians in the past few years have invoked the so-called Monroe Doctrine in regard to China's bilateral relations, consensual relations with countries in the region. Essentially, Washington has told countries like Honduras that they cannot have close relations with Beijing, which is a violation of their sovereignty. Yeah. Now, in the case of Honduras in particular, it's very important to emphasize that the current president, Xiomara Castro, is in fact the wife of the previous president, Manuel Zelaya, who was overthrown in 2009 in a military coup that was sponsored by the U.S. government. So, relations between the U.S. and Honduras and many countries in the region are very complicated, they're very tense, and China provides countries in the region more breathing room, more opportunities. It gives them an alternative so they don't continue to get dominated by the United States in this way that we've seen for over 100 years. So I think this relationship is very important. It's in both the interest of countries in Latin America and the interest of China to deepen their relationship for economic reasons, for political reasons. And again, I just want to go back to the issue of poverty reduction, which China is the world's leader in poverty reduction. And that's why so many countries in Latin America are looking to China to help, borrow from its experience so they can lift their people out of poverty as well.